I'm honored to join you, even if virtually, for a devotional moment, reflecting on the life of the church and its impact far beyond our knowing. Richard Avery and Don Marsh wrote a song that I have long loved, whose words have special meaning to me. It's called The Great Parade. I want to join the great parade. I want to join the happy caravan of God's people, God's own people, marching through the world. There are people of all times and places, people of all nations and races. And here am I. Here am I. Avery and Marsh understood that the church has a life beyond what's visible, that we are bound as believers even across time and space, even when we can't be together, even in a pandemic. We are marching in the great parade, a great cloud of witnesses encouraging us on. Sometimes I think it must seem to people in the pew that the great parade is the pastors who come and go. Out in the hallways of some of our churches are rows of pictures of those pastors. I've left my picture now in the rogues gallery of 6 churches. 4 full-time ministries in this conference: Reardon, Pioneer in Walla Walla, Salmon Creek in Vancouver, and First Church Olympia. Bookended by 2 part-time associate ministries at a UCC church for 2 years while I was in seminary, and at Audubon Park in Spokane for 3 years after retirement. And for a time, I marched with each of those churches. And I had the privilege for 8 years of serving on the cabinet, involved in appointing pastors to the churches of the Inland District, including Pastor Debbie to our church in Moscow, where she led wonderful ministry, marching well with that congregation for a time. But I learned that song, The Great Parade, not in one of the churches I served, but at your church, at First United Methodist Church, Wenatchee, where I grew up. My parents made sure that I regularly got there, and a lot of what I know about church, even to this day, comes from my experiences there on the corner of Washington and Miller. I watched pastors come and go, and the work of the church go on. And I learned early that the church is at its heart a band of committed lay people. The church keeps marching not only with the leadership of its pastors, but by the incredible work of dedicated lay people. Frankly, when I was a kid, I didn't see the pastor more than a few times a year, because when my parents were in worship, I was in another part of the building in Sunday school for 2 delightful years, because there were so many kids down in the furnace room with Luke Troll. My contact with church as a child was with Sunday school teachers, choir directors, custodians, and later with leaders of the church, members who served on leadership teams, people who spearheaded a lay witness mission my senior year that sent my life in an unexpected direction. And all of them were lay people. I'm grateful for each one. You left a profound mark of love in my life, and because of you and those who have gone before, God's grace touched my life. Thank you. And may the happy caravan of God's own people in Wenatchee continue its great parade.